to me, it makes me feel real young again playing this music. This Go Ahead and Die is the one band out of everything I have, the one that makes me feel the youngest is in Go Ahead and Die, which is great. It's like I get to be had the spirit of a teenage Max again when I'm we Go Ahead and Die, which is really cool to have that after so many years of touring and projects and bands. If you can go back to that time, it's like a time machine for me to get back to that era. It's really really fun.
GhostCultMag.com welcomes back in our old friend Max Cavalera. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. Good to be talking to you guys.
It's so good to see you, man. And you have been so busy. It's hard to keep up, but you're on tour right now with Igor and Go Ahead and Die, which is super exciting. We covered the first date of the tour, kind of a hometown show for you, and what a killer run to start the year. Great tour. Body Box is killer. Like such a good tour.
It's been really just been a lot of fun, man. Really great to get start the year kind of like back to the trenches. I wouldn't have it any other way. I think that's the coolest way. This tour is just make me fall in love with all things metal all over again. From the feelings that I get from these shows are just really unique, man, because after so many years of playing, sometimes you lose that, especially like a lot of the other tours I was doing with Cavalera and Soulfly are bigger places, distance from the crowd, barricades and festivals and whatnot. This is just like no barricades, just you and the fans, and it's dangerous. And you might get poked in the eye, you might lose a finger. It's cool. It's like there's a danger element back in the mix, which it makes it much more fun.
Yeah, I've seen some videos, which again I want people to come out to the show to experience it for themselves. But I see you guys very smiley. The whole gang is very smiley on stage, like killing it and happy. And there is that hardcore element. I think we talked once before about kind of the roots of sort of a hardcore show is a little more intimate, and the fans feel like it's their show too, and they'll spill on. If there is a stage at all, they'll spill onto the microphone or whatever, or stage dive. So it's really cool. I got to see the Cavalera tour last fall. It was incredible here in San Francisco. But the Go Ahead and Die shows are, like I said, the music's more immediate. I think obviously the classic metal stuff is just very obviously people have a tremendous affinity. You couldn't really do a small gig with that kind of band and arrangement and material, because like I think it's just like the crowd is you draw the bigger crowds. But I love Go Ahead and Die. I love the first record, and now this record and this tour are just a big way to start the year.
It's like I said, to me it's such a cool environment to be experienced that now, and then also sharing with the people around us, with Igor, like Go Ahead and Die is more his thing than mine, which is great. He like wrote most of the record and produced the album, and like he's in center stage, I'm on the side. I'm doing less stuff than I do with Soulfly and Cavalera. The music's so intense, man. It's like it's got that real cool crossover of metal and punk that we love and grow up loving it. And I wanted to hear more of that. I that was really my thing was like I love like Black Flag, Discharge, and Celtic Frost. I want to hear them together though. I don't want to hear them separate. I want them together. I want them on the same song. I want to hear both of them in the same freaking song. And the only way to do that is if you do it yourself, because of course they're different, different styles of music. But I think both of them are really big influencers of the scene. Both punk and metal have influenced so many artists, and we kind of like very influenced by that. And then a lot of the lyrics, a lot of the subjects that Igor chose for the record, especially the second one, deal with mental health and stuff like unhealthy mechanisms and there's some cartel stuff like Desert Carnage. There's also, of course, Drug a Cop, kind of like about the whole police brutality thing. Those are real heavy topics. Like I say, we're smiling because we really love what we do. It's like, but the music is really angry. It's pissed. It's full of piss and vinegar. All the way, man. And this is kind of like one of those shows where it's really one song after the other. There's a couple intros, but it's really kind of like has a feeling. The only thing I think I can compare to is probably Nail Bomb, that had the same kind of urgency and kind of a oppressive feeling in the sound that between songs you don't really have really nothing to say. Just let's go to the next one and keep this brutality going because it's killer. And everybody is really enjoying it. The crowd is enjoying it. We are enjoying it. So it becomes like kind of like a really cool thing between us and the audience. Like we're in this together kind of thing. And it's like, it's really cool. High energy shows and just everything about it. Like you say, Body Box being on the tour, the whole tour. Also, it's a great support band. We have some really good locals throughout the whole tour. And it's to me, it makes me feel real young again playing this music. This Go Ahead and Die is the one band out of everything I have, the one that makes me feel the youngest is in Go Ahead and Die, which is great. It's like I get to be had the spirit of a teenage Max again when I'm we Go Ahead and Die, which is really cool to have that after so many years of touring and projects and bands. If you can go back to that time, it's like a time machine for me to get back to that era. It's really, really fun.
Amazing, man. Thank you so much for unpacking that, helping me with my segues. I was totally going to talk about Nail Bomb. I also get like a little less on the second record, but to me there's like a Napalm Death vibe, not just politically, but the aggression reminds me of a lot of the grindcore stuff. And obviously grindcore has a big political background. You have a big political background. I got the Chaos AD vibes with some of the material, which I absolutely love. It's all in my wheelhouse. It's like I find myself like I'm nodding to grooves, but I'm also nodding to lyrics. I'm agreeing, and my whole body and my soul are agreeing because we live in a fucked up time. There's nothing else to say about it, and I appreciate that. Igor and I have talked before, and he's all about this stuff, and I know you are too, and I'm glad you're still bringing attention to it. But I also it's hard right now. Mental health is not really respected. And we, like in heavy metal, it used to be like, those guys are heavy metal, they're crazy. But people are having a lot of problems right now in the world. So it's good that it's talked about.
Yeah, and I do like a lot of stuff like cameos and connecting with fans. We get a lot of them dealing with this stuff. I'm battling depression. I'm battling. I've been through a real hard year. A message from you who helped me get better, who helped me get my year better, get my life better. There's no shame in that, man. In asking for help. We all of us, we need to embrace that, and that's I think the message on the record in general. I mean, I didn't come up with the subject. That's Igor's subject. He's really good at that. He also writes books. So you can probably talk about that when you interview him. But he's great at creating this deep thinking subjects, and this one was cool. Even the album cover, I think the open skull with all the hands around, kind of like I think showing a bit of like maybe like is what goes through your brain when you start people start messing with the wires of your brain and all that. I mean, I think the song itself, Unhealthy Mechanism, deals with some people that look for a way to cope with that through chemicals, medicine, pills. Maybe that's not really the right route to take. It's like maybe makes it worse. That's what we were on the song. I think the message I think we were getting, it was like, be careful with what route you take to deal with that stuff. But there's many other topics on the album that I really thought was cool to dive in. Stuff like Tumors was cool. Talk about the internet trolls and backstabbing shit talking that goes on with these keyboard guys and all this stuff, and mostly dangerous animal. Of course, looking at the psychic of a serial killer, it like makes a person do what they do, you know. And then there's Blast Zone, anti-war song. Yeah, I think all of the topics kind of really fit in. It's right on my comfort zone of writing stuff, of singing about this stuff. And when you play live, it's great because when you scream that stuff, man, there's a therapy that goes with that. So yeah, it's like you don't need to go to a psychiatrist. Just go to the show. This is the best psychiatric medicine you're gonna get is come to a Go Ahead and Die show. I'm for sure guarantee you feel better afterwards. It's really therapeutic release of aggression, man, which is great. All of us need it. We all need it in our life. Everybody needs to go out and scream "fuck" really loud sometimes. And when you do that, we are surrounded by other people doing it too. And when you scream some of those lyrics, it's really fun. It's really great, and I think it helps people somehow, man. And I just have a blast. But I love a lot of the stuff on Go Ahead and Die because it's a bit different, man. It's not like the Soulfly stuff. You have the hooks, you get the catchy choruses. Go Ahead and Die. It's not really made like that. It's made different. Some songs don't even have choruses, which is cool. It's more chaotic. It's a little bit more unhinged. That's a good word to describe Go Ahead and Die. It's a very unhinged band. And then we also have fun with it. We like Druggle Cop was one of those. Like the video was extremely fun to make, and it's the last song of the show that we play, and it just ends with this really cool surf metal punk vibe that it's different from everything else. It's really, really it's a cool way to close the show that I never kind of experienced like that before.
Yeah, Druggle Cop is killer. I love the video. It's hysterical. And yeah, I totally agree. It's got that like killer old school vibe at the end. The tremendous show closer. I also love Tumors. Tumors is actually probably my favorite song from both records. I love that song on every level. I love it so much. It's brutal. It's got the killer drums. Shout out to Johnny.
Yeah, Tumors came out cool. It's good. Catchy. It's a the bobbing head, that groovy death metal shit. Just you're hooked instantly when you hear the riff. It's one of those I got you kind of riffs, you know. The minute you hear you're in it, you're like locked in. And that's cool to have stuff like that. But there's so much different stuff on the set. That's what's cool. Like you have Tumors like that, and then you have something like Worthless Than Piss, which is almost like full on Discharge and Extreme Noise Terror, running rampage, metal guitars on top of it, which again, we never really heard this before together. You hear separate, you listen to Discharge record, they don't really have those crunchy death metal chugs in them. So when you hear Go Ahead and Die, we have those. So you get the best of both worlds. You get the rawness of the Discharge hardcore and the chunky of the groove death metal, black metal in it. And to me, that's the recipe of Go Ahead and Die, musically talking. That's what makes it to me exciting to play it. I want to play that stuff. I kind of like count the minutes during the day for the show to start, because it's gonna be fun. It's just a fun set to play. It's just really, really cool to let all those emotions out. And then as a dad, is having to do that with Igor, it's just really, really killer. Or like one of the best feelings I have as a father is be on the stage with him and watch him perform, and he's killing every night.
Yeah, it's wild. The second generation of Cavaleras has risen. All three of the brothers. Of course.
Yeah.
And Zion and Richie are amazing. Richie's a bro. He's fantastic. Super stoked for the next Insight release. And yeah, man, what a time. I was gonna say, personally, I feel like the first bands that were able to it's kind of funny. I came from the scene when metal and punk were separate. Hardcore and thrash metal people were like, no, we can't hang with each other. And then like a year or two later, 87, 88, 89, we're all friends and we're all at each other's shows. And I feel like only biased by my own upbringing in New York City, I feel like the New York hardcore bands were the first bands to kind of bring it back in. They influenced thrash and other kinds of metal with hardcore, but I feel like the hardcore bands started kind of being more metal and bringing in more riffs, more aggression in the guitars. And I think of course Cro-Mags, Agnostic Front, Murphy's Law, even Judge, bands like the old school second wave of New York hardcore bands and first ones, and of course Bad Brains, of course, can't leave them out.
Yeah, yeah. When that happened, I think it broke that wall down, and it was finally we could enjoy this together. Because as a kid in Brazil, I used to have cassette tapes, and one of my cassette tapes was it was Hellhammer on side A, and Discharge was on side B. And I didn't know that they were separate entities, that they didn't get along. I musically talking, I love both the sides. Like both those two are fucking amazing. Those two bands they blew me away, and I love the energy, the raw, the punkness. Even though one is black metal and the other one is full on hardcore, talking about Discharge, talking about war and protests against animal killing, and Hellhammer is talking about triumph of death and Messiah and all that weird black metal shit. But I love both. I love those two worlds, and when it start when the wall came down with stuff like DRI and COC and SOD, and then you're right, like a lot of the hardcore bands became a little bit more metalized, like AF, and even Sick of It All, Cro-Mags. We took Sick of It All on tour, like the New Titans on the Block tour was cool, mixing metal and punk, and we had the same, like a lot of on the audience, we had some skinheads also come to the show, and it was a crazy time, But I think it was cool to have that crossover, that bridge, and of course these days it's all if you listen to me, if you listen to Power Trip or anything like that, newer Municipal Waste, they're all influenced by the punk and metal movements, which is great. I love that.
Right on. And then I would say probably in terms of another scene where that sound came in, obviously Suicidal started to get more and more metal with Join the Army in '87.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. I got to see them last year a bunch. They're doing like a 40th anniversary tour. It's wild to me that like the original ST record is 41 years old in July. Man, but good times. I was gonna say, just to change gears for a second, the road. You are no stranger to the road. I know it's kind of your happy place to be on tour. This tour is extensive, and perhaps not as a little more DIY than some of your bigger bus tours and things. And you have a new member. You have Jackie on tour with you now, Jackie Cruz, who's a killer bassist and great performer from what I've seen and what we read. So yeah, how's the new dynamic going with the tour?
Yeah, really cool. Some of the venues we played, I don't think they really ever even seen a tour bus before. So it was like they were like shocked that, oh, they're coming in a tour bus, because most of the bands that play there were like vans, and so that part is really cool, man. It's really exciting, and yeah, like I love the idea. It was Igor's idea to invite Jackie to be bass player, and again, it's something that for me different, having a woman in a band, and she kicks ass, man. Every night she's awesome. Like she just does her thing. I don't know if you ever watched those old AC/DC videos where the bass player is just on his corner just doing his thing. Kind of like that, man. It's cool. Like she just hold the fort down on the side of the stage, just jams all night hard, and then you have me and Igor throwing down hard, and then Johnny, of course, is going off. This is a really cool dynamic band. All the moving parts work really good together, and I just found out that yesterday, actually, Igor, we were having a dinner, and all our signs are together. They form all the earth. It's air, fire, earth, and wind, and water. The four of us have all those elements. So complete package, man. Yeah, it's super cool, man. I love the vibe. I love the connection. I love what everybody brings to the table, and feels it feels new. Feels like you're doing something new. It's that feeling of that you had when you made your first band, and that it's 40 years later. If you can still evoke the sentiment and evoke that feeling, to me that is what being successful is all about. It's just really enjoying playing the music that you love, regardless of what's happening to the music, regardless of your winning Grammys or you playing for 150 people. It's like it's not about that. It's about what are you doing with the music? Are you enjoying it? Are you going on the stage every night? I'm gonna have a blast tonight again, and when you feel like that, it fulfills you. Internally, you're complete, satisfied, happy, and that's all I want right now in my career. I don't want to spend time with things that brings me down, or I want to be involved in things that I get excited about it. Go Ahead and Die is one of those things, and it's so cool because you get all these young new fans that are discovering the band right now. There's all the old guys that have been following me from Sepultura days and Soulfly days. A lot of Soulfly shirts on the crowd, as of course as expected, and some people really happy because they're like, this is like Nail Bomb. What I love about Go Ahead and Die, that it reminds me of Nail Bomb. That I like that a lot. And then you see all these really really new young kids, which is the new generation. And to me, that is cool. That's like you're doing something that you bring in something new, bringing new people to your music after all these years. It's fantastic, man. It's a great feeling.
Amazing, man. I just have a couple more for you. Like you said, busy year. This tour runs through late March, heading back toward Arizona for you guys, but many dates until then, from now till then. And then I know we're expecting a new Soulfly record. I don't know how much you can share, if there's anything else coming around on the horizon. I'm always holding out hope for another Kill or Be Killed record, but I know everybody in that band is crazy busy.
Yeah, I think eventually we're gonna find some time and do some more Killer BQ as well. Starting to get the ideas formed for Soulfly. It's new in terms of like riffs, and I find it hard to write on the road, so I don't do a whole lot of that. I kind of like to be home and be on my writing mindset, and then I delve entirely for that. So on tour right now, this is Go Ahead and Die, hands on deck. It's all Go Ahead and Die stuff right now. It's like I'm painting canvas. The fans love it. The artwork thing. We do meet and greets, and we're trying to get the show as good as it can. We do sound check to improve every show. I think there's room for improvement, so we keep at it, trying to make the show better as it goes. Because, like I say, we still got a whole nother month and a little bit more even. So it's a long tour. But yeah, so eventually at some point we'll start working on a new Soulfly. Probably not gonna come out till next year, if I'm being realistic. And we see what happened to the other projects, Killer BQ and stuff. But Soulfly is doing some cool stuff. We are actually playing Rockville, and there's another festival in Ohio, and we're doing the Lamb of God both Headbangers Ball both. Those all should be pretty fun, and doing some festivals in Europe as well. But I do one thing at a time. So right now it's all Go Ahead and Die. Like, it's really really enjoying this tour, man. Really, really. And it has, like, it was advertised it was going to be colder, and we haven't hit one cold place yet. It's been warm the whole time.
Right on. Well, there's plenty of heat in the West Coast when you get back this way.
We're not even going to hit any cold places. No,
yeah, amazing.
We are in a week from now.
It's all right. You got the leather jackets, a hoodie. You're good, and maybe a beanie. I think they're at the merch table if people want to pick them up. Hey,
Exactly.
last thing, I know I'm pretty excited about it. I know you're a big Bob Marley fan. The Bob Marley movie is coming out this week. I know you're on tour and you're busy, but any plans to see the Bob Marley movie? I saw the trailer and I thought it looked pretty good.
Yeah, if we have like a day off, I might want to go check it out. I don't know much. I only saw a quick commercial. I hope they didn't ruin it. You know, Hollywood has the tendency of ruining things, over dramatized, and I read a bunch of books on Marley, and a lot of them are from real good sources. You know, I know the story pretty good. I also work with Neville Garrick, which was his designer. He passed away last year, unfortunately. I don't know if he was involved in the movie or not, but hopefully he was, because he was a good source. Yeah, definitely go check it out. I don't know if I'm too crazy about these movies. You know, I saw the Queen one. I was a bit disappointed. I thought it was really more focused on Freddie Mercury than the band itself. So yeah, it's kind of like one of those ways. Hopefully they didn't ruin it. I hope, because like from the books, I have a great imagery in my head of his life story. You know, from the books, and they're really good books, especially one called Catch a Fire. If people are interested, they should read Catch a Fire.
I
That's an
agree.
amazing that's
I,
an amazing
yeah.
amazing book.
I read that
Uh,
one. That's the one I would tell people to get also.
yeah,
I think the family is involved with the film. So I would hope that means they're going to keep it true. And, you know, obviously sometimes dramatic license in movies gets carried away. Like the order of the events in the Queen movie was the thing people were most upset about. Generally speaking, I thought they did a good job. But, like, I agree with you. Like, the timeline was wrong a little bit for certain things. But, yeah, I love Marley. I know you do too. So I wanted to ask. I'm going to go see it. I'm going to give it a try. I like the
right.
cast. And I heard the family's working with the filmmakers. So that made me feel
Cool.
like it's going to be good. And if it's not, I'll let you know.
Awesome.
I'll text you.
I probably I'm probably gonna go watch it as well, just out of curiosity too. But yeah, man, it's cool they're doing it. I think, it's been a long time. The story is amazing. Like his life story is pretty amazing. I hope so. Hopefully they did a good job telling all the stuff that happened in a really cool way. And then yeah, we'll just see it from there. The one there's a couple other guys that I don't know if how much they're gonna mention in the movie, but hopefully they'll talk a little bit and show a little bit about Peter Tosh as well. Also, Bunny Wailer. Those are huge people around, or Lee Perry, the producer. I don't know how much they're gonna go deep into the movie. There's enough material to really go off if they want it. There's a lot of cool stuff to build on it. And that's like one of the things that when I think about it, I was like, yeah, I think they're gonna leave a lot of this shit out.
It's possible,
Just,
especially if
just
it's got for the masses.
yeah, yeah, but it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. I hope for the best. I love a music memoir. I love a music documentary. I love a music based biography film. Some of them are good. Some of them are not.
I thought the Elvis one was pretty good.
It wasn't terrible. I don't love that director's style that much, like putting the modern music in with it. But generally speaking, the kid was great, and I
Yeah,
thought, and Tom Hanks was good as Colonel Tom, even if the
yeah,
family didn't like it. And I thought there
right,
were some certain things about Memphis and Beale Street and things that I thought were pretty interesting.
yeah, yeah. So let's just see. We'll see what happens. We'll let you know.
All right. Hey,
But thanks
Max,
for having me.
yeah, man, thank you for being here. As always, my favorite person to interview. The person I have interviewed the most in my career is you. So
All
thank you
right.
so much always for supporting us. My love and gratitude to Gloria and the family as well. And we'll see you on the road again soon.
Likewise, my brother. You stay good. Stay healthy.
Always, thanks for hanging with Ghost Coat. We'll see you soon.